Barakatah Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rachakwaraj, double honors to the apostle and elders of Great Millstone, who rule well and teach well with sincerity, honesty, and integrity. Brothers labor in his truth, putting their life on the line, especially in these times. Salutations to you, brothers and sisters who believe in his truth wholeheartedly and sincerely. Shalom to the hopeful elect. I'm gonna just call this, man, Esau, his skirt's being lifted. Everybody's seeing him for who he really is, Matter of fact, let me just grab this real quick. Jeremiah 51, verse 7. Matter of fact, you know what? Let's go 49 first, actually. Jeremiah 49 and verse 7, it reads, concerning Edom, thus saith the Lord of hosts, is wisdom no more in Teman? Is counsel perished from the prudent? Is their wisdom vanished? Flee ye, turn back, dwell deep, O inhabitants of the dawn, for I will bring the calamity of Esau upon him, the time that I will visit him. If grape gatherers come to thee, would they not leave some gleaning grapes? If thieves by night, they will destroy till they have enough. Right? And this man is insatiable, man. This man, you see the thing that's going over there. What's going on over there by the Strait of Hormuz? If he doesn't get his way, nobody can nobody eat, right? The sanctions that he put on the world, on Germany, actually, those affected some of his own allies. Then he turned around and put tariffs. There was sanctions already over there, and this is just Esau Edom. Especially the ruler Esau Edom ruling out of Babylon, which is here in America, right? The tariffs that he put on his allies, man. This man is insatiable, man. He can't get enough, man. And everybody's sick and tired of who he really is, man. He's being made bare, right? Like it reads, but I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places, right? Because before he was able to fool the world. We're going to get down to Jeremiah 51, right? And he should not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not, right? He was able to put on this, with his enchantments, his witchcraft. He was able to deceive the world, right? Jeremiah 51 and verse 7, it reads, Babylon have been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken, the earth that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. All right, so they gone mad, man. You see, they're not. Let me see real quick. Halal, right? To shine, to flash forth, to praise. Let me see. Let's jump down to eat. To make a fool, or make into a fool, right? To act madly, act like a madman, right? But that's what they did. They made a fool of these people, man. And now the nations are mad. They're mad. And they've been made fooled of, man, because they've been made fooled of with that intoxication, man, all right, of Babylon, all right? So, but let's read this, man. It reads, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her? Take balm for her. If so, be so she may be healed, right? Because she is, again, she is falling apart, falling. What you would say, circling the drain, right? Matter of fact, Esau Edom ruling out of Babylon. You seeing that there's no more wisdom in Teman. All right. Matter of fact, let me grab this. Obadiah 1 and 6. It reads, how were the things of Esau searched out? How were his hidden things sought up? Right? Because now through the mouthpiece of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, this place is crumbling, man. His spirit being put on all flesh, even his own tongue falling upon himself, man. You see, his own tongue is falling upon himself. All right, when you go on Obadiah 1, and it reads, how are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? Right? It's through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Right? Jeremiah 5:14, wherefore thus saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, because ye speak this word, behold, I will make my words in thy mouth fire, and this people would, and they should devour them, right? So it's devouring them. They're being consumed with that spirit of fire, by the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. They're being consumed with fire, right? This word is that fire. This place is it's not the same place that it once was, man. All right, I know it's in Isaiah 14, if I'm not mistaken. Isaiah 14 and 16. This is what they once thought, right? Isaiah 14 and 16, it reads, they that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider. Matter of fact, I'm gonna start at verse 12. It reads, Isaiah 14 and 12. It reads, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down of the ground, which didst weaken the nations? And that's what Esau Edom been ruling out of Babylon, man. You see, and that word Lucifer just goes into light bearer. So Esau Edom, use that light. They're the illuminated ones on the left hand side, using that left hand, witchcraft, man. And it reads, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer? Oh, my fault, Salakia. Yep. Son of a morning, how art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations, right? With that wine, with their enchantments, with their military, with their coups, right? Them taking over governments and setting up their own leadership, right? And it reads, for thou hast said in thy heart, I will ascend in heaven, I will exalt my throne above the stars of Yahweh. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north, right? And that's that pride. That pride deceived people, and it deceived them themselves, man, because they believed that they was not going to be able to be taken down, right? But see, again, the Lord is visiting this place, and he's going to set up his ambassadors, his angels, to do his work, man, right? His messengers, right? And it reads, I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High, right? So this man trying to be like the Most High. Yeah, man. These people. Right? And it reads, they that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth tremble, that did shake kingdoms, right? Is this the man, right? Because now he's losing that again. He's losing that wine is wearing off these nations, man. You see, now they seeing this man for who he really is. The man that came to take peace from the earth. All right, the wicked, the third part of mankind, ruling out of Babylon. You see, the elite, use Babylon as their hammer, man. All right. Matter of fact, let's get that. Jeremiah 50 and verse 23, it reads, how is the hem of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How is Babylon become a desolation among the nations, right? Because they were despised amongst these nations, amongst these other heathens, man. You see? And eventually they're going to shoot their arrows, their thermonuclear missiles, right? Their ICBM missiles, all right? And they're going to shoot their arrows at Babylon, man. And Babylon's going to ultimately fall. It begins with this word, which is fire that we read in Jeremiah, the 5th chapter, right? But eventually it's gonna be all, missiles that, the Lord's host, because the Lord's spirit is in those is in those missiles, man. You see, and also the fire from the chariots. But these nations is gonna shoot their arrows, man, and bend that, the archer that bend the bow. You see, and they're gonna aim their missiles at Babylon to destroy this place, man, because they're gonna, and even those of their own confederacy. If you go back into Obadiah, it says that. You going back into Revelation 17, the beast. They should hate the whore. The whore is being Babylon, man, America. All right, but see, again, Esau, Edom, in totality is being made bare. The small hats over there in Israel, we're gonna have that land's gonna get cleansed. The wicked elite, they being made bare, man, in totality, man. Brothers is bringing it out, bringing all this news out. I was gonna bring that out, and I'm gonna do it through the spirit and through all y'all watching me shy. From putting that spirit back in my mind to remember, right? Even their own tongue falling upon themselves, right? And it reads, as Psalm 64, and it reads, so they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away, right? And you're starting to see that, right? That's why you hear Trump talking about pulling out of the NATO, right? Talks of like the NATO doesn't do anything for us, so why should we do anything for them, right? These are the things, they don't want nothing to do with, assisting Trump over there with the Strait of Hormuz, all right? These are the things that you're starting to see on the earth, man. People are starting to see Esau, Edom, especially those that's ruling out of Babylon, for who they actually are, man. Right? And that's through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, man. We're almost at the end of this thing, man. And now more than ever, we got to be constantly throwing up them prayers, getting right with the Lord, making sure we good, setting our house in order. All right? But, the point was made, man. His skirt's being lifted, and we're going to continue to see it get worse, man, for Esau, Edom, man. All right? So with that,